Hello guys, my name is Mark and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about FunC because this is a part of the series on FunC programming and especially uh, FunC practical programming when we're going to talk a lot about topics on how to implement that in real life, how to use it properly for real projects that could really help the ecosystem, they could help people for everyday use, etc. So you're lucky that you're here. Congratulations. Let me do a quick introductions to my other channels. So you definitely should subscribe and like this video. If like the subscribe is going to be useful for you, you're going to have recommendations. YouTube will know that this is good content and is going to offer this content to other developers. They're going to learn how to program FunC and they're going to make crazy cool projects, and these projects are going to push the price of Ton up. So once you're holding Ton, it's going to be good for you. But the like will warm my heart. Honestly, thank you so much for doing that. Also, if you have any questions after the video, write them here, or you can also subscribe to my Telegram channel. You'll also find the link in description. And let me show you a little bit more about what is my Telegram channel about. So basically, sometimes I participate in different streams. So you can see that I post link about stream where I'm participating, and sometimes I'm sharing the free tons. So you can try your luck. And important thing, you can also invite your friends, because once I get 100 subscribers, I'm going to post 3 different checks, and one for 30 tons, one for 15 tons, and one for 5 tons, one by one. So 3 lucky people are going to grab them. And yeah, sometimes I share just cool news about participating in Hacktoberfest, for example, that you could get an NFT by participating in open source software contribution for on Ton ecosystem. So I try to make it as useful as possible. So just go to the description. There's a link. It would be nice if you subscribe. It will be also useful for you. This being said, let's move to the topic of today's video. So today we're going to have a look into one of the most famous boilerplates for starting the FunC development, which is tonstarter-contracts. It was made by Tal Cole and his team, and the guys just composed a very good stack of how to start developing FunC smart contracts for Ton without big hassle of configuring your environment. But honestly speaking, first time I hit the this GitHub repo, I didn't manage to write my first smart contract because I had 2 big issues. So first one, I couldn't make my head around how come the TypeScript is connected with FunC. I couldn't make it. I didn't understand. And the second thing, this repository contains very it's quite simple if you look at other smart contracts, but this smart contract was still too complicated for me in the beginning. So basically, if you already watched the lesson 1 and the Q&A session for the lesson 1, it will be at this moment it will be very practical for you. But I'm also trying to make this video for those who still don't understand how to write FunC smart contracts with a good stack on their computer. So I'm going to break down with you this repository. We're going to install it. We're going to run this smart contract. And what we're going to do is we're going to simplify it. So we're going to remove all the, let's say, complex part, and we're going to end up with a very simple smart contract. And I will spoil it a little bit for you. So this smart contract is going to just split money. So once you send some money to this smart contract, it's going to send, like, split it by 2 and send it to 2 defined addresses. So it's a quite practical use for share splitting. And I hope this video is going to be useful for you. You're going to find this repository on GitHub as well. Have a look in the description. I'm going to share that code with you. And let's just proceed. So let me clone this repository. So I'm going to my folder. Yeah, we are here. We do git clone. And what we're gonna do, important thing, I hope you have your FunC, fifth, and a light client binaries working. If you don't have it, you probably want to go into the lesson 1 and see how I was configuring, also based on Tal Cole's articles and on his GitHub repositories. But also, I think it makes sense to just have a look into the description, because here it describes quite well what you should do. They even have the one of the functions. If you go to package.json, which is a very important file to know what is possible. Okay, they don't have it here as a script, but anyways, there is a description of what you should do. You should definitely have Node installed. So they use 17 version, but I'm using it with a 16 something something. You have to have FunC available on your CLI, and you have to have fifth available on your CLI. And what is very important, this variable, we are going to see how it's going to work with or and without it. So basically, this being said, I assume you already have it ready, and I really want to proceed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run yarn. Wait. So I'm going to tonstarter-contracts and run in yarn. All right, so it has to be more than 16. I'm using NVM for node versions management. Let me switch to version 16.15, and then I'm going to do the same yarn. While it's installing, let's see what would be our next step. So the description says what is where, like which folders, which scripts are used. A little thing, we're going to collect questions for Tal, because next video is going to be about me talking with Tal, asking him questions, and he is going to explain us a little bit more of what runs in this repository, and maybe he will give us some good advices on how to use it in a daily programming. So we need, let's have a look into the folders, what we have here. So it's all installed. We have folder build, contracts, test. Great. So as far as I see, first we want to have a look into the contracts folder. So this is the moment where I had shock. So I open main FC. First, I didn't know which files are what. And I still don't know what is this file, main TLB. We gotta maybe ask Tal about that. Let's write this question here. TLB extension. Yeah, we will ask him what is TLB extension. We have the FunC code, of course. It's FunC code has .fc, and here we have smart contract. At this moment, when I saw that, I had no clue what is how to develop, how to work with that. And here we have also imports, some constants. We're gonna see how it works. std-lib, very important file. Here is a lot of, I think it's kind of limited version. Yeah, I believe here we only have whatever is needed for the smart contract that is written here, but we're gonna ask Tal about that as well. Is the lib limited? I'm gonna keep the questions here, so we had more productive discussion with him. And so basically that's it. So we have some functions, we have some other functions here. I had no idea how this function differs from this one, for example. And I had no idea how op withdrawal. Yeah. So it was a disaster because I couldn't understand how it works. So we're going to simplify it very soon. Stay tuned. Okay, so once we have the source code of the smart contract, let's see what is in the build folder. So in build folder, let's have a look at the build first. So we have here quite a few preparation scripts that are building the code from FunC to fifth. Then they are building fifth into the BOC, I believe, which is like just a way to represent the whole compiled smart contract and send it to the blockchain. And yeah, we probably are going to go just line by line with Tal, but it's good that we have a build script. So let's just put it that way. We have FunC code, and after we run build, we have something that is ready to be deployed. We don't want to dig into that now, but at this moment you can actually just trust the repository. So we are not going to go under the skin of this repository. So, and then we have the script deploy. So deploy is also, I will tell you how this repository deploys smart contracts. So as I was saying on the Q&A for the lesson one, you can deploy smart contract by sending message to the blockchain. So you're basically sending message with the code of the smart contract to the address, because you know address before you even deploy the smart contract. So basically, why it's possible? Because as I said, the address of smart contract is a hash from initial state and the code of smart contract, compiled code, of course. And basically, if you change some code, then your address will change. If you change the initial state, then your address will change. So this being said, when you need to send a message, I would expect that we write some code here, then we somehow compile it, and we have to compose the message. So this repository does everything for us. We will see that on the first run. Maybe let's do that right now. So we do npm run build. As simple as that. Interesting, yeah. So I don't have fifth configured properly because I missed that thing which said moment. Yeah, here it said fifth path and variable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I need to find the fifth library somewhere, and where I find it is so I'm going to main tone monorepo, and here I might be doing it complicated way, but that's the way I managed to work for myself. And so basically here I need to go to folder. I need to go to folder crypto, and here I go to folder fifth. It has folder leap. So basically, I need this file. But what I did, I just cloned this whole repository, and I I just cloned it to my machine, and I now can just do this way. Oh wait, I have an absolute path to this fifth library. Yeah, so basically, I have to set the path to this crypto fifth library, and it has to be set on my environment. You better do it in your bash profile, so it would, once you restart the terminal, it would still work. And once I have it, let me build it, try to build it again. Awesome. So I have built it, and now I would want to deploy it. But as I was talking, to deploy, you need to send message. So this repository works in a way that guys prepared a wallet for you. So once you try to deploy, when you run npm run deploy, we are working with mainnet. Okay, and file not found. So what it did, it made an end file with deployer error wallet has less than 0.2 ton. Okay, so basically what happened now, it created a wallet with a mnemonic. So mnemonic is a 24 words, which are hash of which is going to be your private key. But we are going to work with a testnet. Testnet. So again, we have newly created wallet. We can even wallet address used to deploy from it. So this is going to, we can check this on Explorer. So it is not active address because it only, basically it only exists here in our folder. We have a private key. We can calculate the address of this wallet. And what we need to do is we need to send some test ton on it. How do we get test ton? So basically, you're probably aware that there is two different nets. There is mainnet and testnet. So mainnet is something where real ton works. The coins on mainnet, they have value, and coins on testnet, they're free. So if we have to deploy smart contracts by sending message, then we need to have some free money because any message costs money on the Ton blockchain. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this address, and we are going to 1 second. We are going to test giver Ton bot. So this is you can just find it in the search. Just type test giver Ton bot on Telegram, and here we would need to click get, but you can only get it once per hour. And I already got mine in this hour because I created a wallet on testnet in web, so I could manipulate with this tons. But this is just my web wallet. What I have to do is I need to get some coins on my wallet, which is locally, from which I'm going to deploy the smart contract. So I'm going to send, let's say, 2 tons. Oh wait, this is address. I'm going to send 2 tons, and yeah, I believe I have everything for that. I have enough coins to send. Unexpected password. I have no idea what it is. I will leave the link in the description where you can install OpenMask. And let me try again. Await confirmation. Back to home. I couldn't send it. Okay. Address, 2 tons. So I can watch it on TonScan. Great. So I have now, but is it the right? Yeah. So on this wallet, wait a second. Okay. It bounced back. I still don't very much understand how the bouncing works. So basically, you can see we sent 2 tons. We sent 2 tons to this wallet that we have, but this wallet still has so it basically, the money came there and they bounced back, and I'm just really not sure why. I have one guess, is that here I can do like of course, we're going to ask Tal about how exactly this works, but let's say non-bounceable, non-bounceable, and let's try to do it again, actually. So let's try to send some coins here. And let's try with a small amount, 0.5. Let's see. Okay, it bounced again. Let me try something else. We are here to figure out things, so it's okay. Test giver ton bot. I'm going to do get again. I'll say it's just in 5 minutes. Okay. While we're waiting, we are going to write question for Tal as well. How bouncing works. And let's say why you created wallet is bouncing messages. So basically, we created we have a mnemonic, like a private key. We were able to calculate the address with a like the I mean not we but Tal's repository, and I don't quite understand why it's bouncing. For me, it wasn't bouncing, but we're going to figure something out because I think when I did it first, I was sending money directly from the Telegram test giver bot directly to the wallet that we have here in this repository. So, I'm going to try again with this address and test giver because I believe test giver was sending properly on this address without bouncing. Okay, we need to wait a few more seconds. All right, so now it worked. We have to put captcha 8B88. Wrong captcha, okay. The B F322. All right, it's good to go. We copy the address, we put it here, and it say that it sent us the coins. So let's see if these coins bounced or not. Let's wait. Because they said they're going to send it soon. We are in the queue. Great. All right, so now it didn't bounce. We have the balance 2 tons. I hope Tal is going to explain us how the bouncing works, but let's proceed. We're good to go. We have, just to remind you, we have 2 tons now on the wallet, so we would be able to send messages. And with those messages, we're going to be deploying a smart contract. So let's just run npm run deploy testnet. All right, so now it went further. So what are we seeing here? It said config file found, and we'll use it for deployment. Namely, the wallet address is this address that is used for deployment. Wallet balance is 2 tons, which will be used for gas. And it also found main deploy ts. Let's deploy it. We're going to have a look into that because we want to write our own simple version of that setup. So nice. So basically, it deployed a smart contract. All right. This is smart contract address. We're going to see it now. And it ran a post-deployment test on it. So it ran the getter method counter. Then it sent increment op message. And then it sent getter counter. So perfect. It just worked. But our goal is not just run it locally. Okay. So yeah, basically I will surprise you, but this address, because we didn't change anything in the repository, this same address will be for everybody who runs this repository once they deploy this smart contract. It's going to be the same address. All right, so what are we going to do next? We are going to, if we go to tests, oh, there is quite a few tests. We're not going to dig into testing. Also, we'll leave it for talk with Tal. And we're going to go to contracts and see what do we understand here. So these are commented out lines, I believe. Maybe not. Let's ask Tal. Like, what is pragma? How imports work? Anyways, we're not going to remove that. Maybe just we'll remove the constants because let's see further. So we have two helper functions. Helper functions means that we're going to reuse them inside of the smart contract itself. But here we have load data, like read data from the cell, from the memory, and then we're going to save data into the memory. And save data is, let's say, it is specialized for the smart contract. It's not reusable. And here as well, yeah. So we're assuming that they're in the memory, I will just remind you that the memory is like a line. So you put a few slices into a cell, and basically here it is reading first message, first the address, and then it's going to load the counter. So like this is we're going to rewrite that as well. And then withdrawal, we are not going to deal with withdrawal. So basically a lot of code, I'm going to start removing stuff that we're not going to use for sure. So just to remind you the idea, what is going to be our smart contract? So it is going to be, the smart contract itself is going to store two addresses. It's going to be hard-coded there once we deploy it. It's going to be basically like initial state of the smart contract, because smart contract, once we deploy it, it has some initial state, and then it also has the code. So as I talked about this before, initial state, which will be two addresses, two hard-coded addresses, plus the smart contract code. Basically, this is how the address is calculated. So we have to, once we load data, we have to read two addresses. So basically, we will call it address 1 and address 2. Nice. Simple as that. We don't have to make it out like that in functions, but it's a good practice to start doing that from the beginning. So once we're going to save them, we're not going to save any data. So I will remove that one. So let me remove the comments. All right. Messages, I will probably keep it. No withdrawals here. So receive internal. This is the function, one of two that the smart contract must have. It's either receive internal or receive external, or both of them. So because as I was speaking in previous videos, we need like everything in the Ton, it's smart contract. Any entities are smart contracts, and they interact between each other with internal messages. And from outside the world, you can trigger any kind of interactions between them, or any kind of actions inside of smart contract you can trigger with external messages. So parse incoming internal message. We are not going to work in any way with internal messages. We are going to remove that. Handle bounced messages. We are not going to deal with that. Load from contract storage. Here we need to work a little bit, because we need to read, like from the storage, we need to read two hard-coded addresses that we had. So it's going to be address 1 and address 2. And here, load data function, we see that it starts reading from the memory, and as we discussed before, the memory is just one by one. So it's basically first reads the first address, then the second. It's the same function, but it returns two addresses. And I made a mistake here. Yeah, address one, address two. Nice. Handle operations. We are not going to deal with operations now. And here's interesting. Again, this is quite a complicated approach, even though it's good to learn. But for the beginning, we don't want to deal with OP increments. So what I realized is that here in import, basically this variable, this constant, it's not variable, it's a constant. It's set to specific, I believe, hexadecimal code. Shahar did it. And you can see here who was doing it. Shahar is a nice guy from Talcore's team, and they work together on Orb's team. Shahar is the guy who gave me this t-shirt, by the way. So a little bit of promotion, thanks to you. Okay, so we are not going to deal with that. So we can even just remove this file. And then this file I'm not going to remove. And this is utils. We are going to use this function probably. That's good thing. Once a little advice, when you see some repositories, have a look into these functions that are like they're separated, because some of these functions you will want to use by yourself in your project. So here I'm going to use this function. Maybe I'm going to just move it into the main FC, but I probably will, yeah, I'm going to just bring it here so we don't have a big mess. So we will have one helper function for sending money and one helper function for loading data. That means I can just remove utils, and I can just remove utils file as well. Okay, so we have load data. You know what? I'm going to get rid of the function. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we continue removing stuff that we're not going to use. We're not going to handle any operations here. So basically, operations, as we discussed in different in the previous video, is that like you're telling your smart contract what to do with this, like what is going to be, by operation you can understand what is going to be the structure of the message. You're going to understand what to do with the phones that arrived. And this is an important thing, but we are not going to go into complicated smart contract here. And we are going to definitely do that later on with another video. But here we only want limited amount of functionality. So here we have getter methods. Getter methods are like, you don't have to send money to invoke that method because it doesn't require any computation. It just like you're fetching the state of the smart contract. So the only getter method, oh, we're actually going to have two. Yeah, we're going to have this getter method meaning of life. It will always return us 42. I hope you understand this joke. Why meaning of life is 42. We don't need owner address. We need balance as well. So as simple as that. We will handle the internal messages that arrive. We are going to have two getter methods, meaning of life and balance. All right, so now we would need to proceed a little bit into the coding. So here I'm going to set up a variable that will be reserve fee. Why I'm doing that? Because this smart contract is going to send messages, and I want to make sure that there's always some money left on the smart contract to pay for the rent. We're going to discuss what is rent. Basically, I will tell you now, rent is money that are charged from the smart contract for being on the nodes, and it is required to pay it once you send the message. So basically, if you have like 10 days no messages, then your commission will be slightly bigger because it's going to be attached with the next payment. When you're going to send money to someone, you will be charged this rent payment. So maybe Tal is going to tell us more about that. Oh, it's going to be a very nice talk with him. Rent. Okay. And so a reserve fee, I will keep something like 0.05. So we know it's all calculated in grams. So basically 1 ton is 9 billions. Yes, 9 billions. It's a billion grams. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a, so let's say this here is 1 ton, but I don't want to charge the whole 1 ton. And that's why I'm going to do like, I'm going to do 50, because this is going to be equal to something like 0.05 ton. I will charge this reserve fee from every transaction that comes into my smart contract. So it would always have money. So let's now calculate how much money we are going to send to address 1 and address 2. So basically, int send amount, let's call it like this. It will be message value. Internal receive internal has it as a first argument. So message value, this is integer, and this is the amount of money that arrives. So we are going to subtract the reserve fee. Then we are going to split it by 2, because we need to send it to 2 addresses. So we're going to subtract reserve fee, we're going to split it by 2, and then we're going to use this function send grams. If you want to dig into it more, I'm just using the function for being faster, let's say. And then I'm doing send grams. I have to put address 1 and send amount. And then I do send grams address 2 and also the same amount. Wait. All right. So quite simple, right? And yeah, that's very simple. And I think we're good to go. But we need to understand how this repository is deploying stuff. So we saw that there's some, you see, there's some running post-deployment tests and something, but also we need to put the initial state, because we need to somehow put this address 1 and address 2, because this smart contract just assumes that they are stored in memory. And back to the story that I told you, that I was a little bit shocked when I was first encountered this repository, like how TypeScript and FunC. And I like this example that, let's say, FunC smart contract, which is compiled to fifth and etc., but we'll let's call it just FunC. It is like a satellite. So basically, TypeScript here, it's like kind of like the rocket that is bringing the satellite to the orbit of the Earth. So the satellite would just do rounds there after. So basically, the rocket is not needed anymore once the satellite is already deployed to the space. And this is kind of similar approach. So TypeScript is just helping us manipulate. It's helping us manipulate the smart contract to send the proper data into the blockchain and then manipulate this smart contract, connect with it. Like satellite is connecting with the with the Earth, and Earth can say satellite what to do. And after, like, the satellite is quite independent; it's just interacting with the Earth. So basically, we need to understand how to do that now, because we want to have this repository as a simple starter. Like the starter smart contract itself is quite simple, this repository, but we want even a simple, light version. Okay, so what are we going to do then? We are going to, we're not going to dig into the build. We're not going to dig into the build version, into the build script. Maybe not with me, but when I will be with Tal, we are going to talk about this more. But here is important the deploy. So deploy first is checking whether it's statsnet or the mainnet. All right. Then it is initializing the client to talk with the Ton blockchain. So basically, there is some like Ton centers just on RPC. It's like, let's say, interface to talk with the blockchain with requests. We have deployer wallet type. So here's the version of the wallet smart contract that is used here. Here we say new contract funding. I believe this is like we are going to send some money to so the smart contracts once we deploy it, it already has some money on it to pay for the rent. Work chain 0. Oh, that's a good thing because I don't know what it is. Work chain 0. All right. So it finds the config file. That's the wallet key. Alrighty. This is an important thing. Um, init data. Init data. Init message cell. Yeah, we need to find where exactly it is composing the initial init code cell. So here it's already sending external message to the wallet contract. I'm not going to dig deep into how it works with external internal messages and the wallets. It was in the previous video. Please have a look. Yes, so I'm not sure where it is. So here's deploy. Oh, okay, I wasn't supposed to even go into this deploy script. We have this main deploy TypeScript. So here main compiled. Here's the compiled file of the smart contract, but we want to remove it because it's an old code that we edited the code, so we will need to run npm run build again. So we will have, oh, there's an error. Let's have a look. Moment. Of course, because here, like I'm reading address, then I'm reading address again, but it expects to receive integer. So I'm going to go with slice. I hope that's the only error. Okay, send amount. Send amount. Divide by 2, reserve fee. Oh yes, we missed the, great. Throw error. I don't want to throw this error. It was something we needed to remove as well. Awesome. So now we have compiled smart contract, and this smart contract is going to be deployed. But we, as I said, we will not just deploy it. We are going to connect some initial state to it, and we are going to see how it's working. So here, basically, there's a function init data, and it is parse friendly sender owner address. Yeah, so here it is like this function. Let's see where it's called. First time. So this script basically okay, it takes root contract. Okay, it finds deployed. It finds this particular file, and then it's asking init data as cell. Init data is returning, so init data cell, this is the initial data. And if you want to affect it, we need to change here that we want the initial data of the memory to be address 1 and address 2. And here we want to set up two addresses where are we gonna send money? I will just remove this and go with to do because we need to do it now after we finish that. Address, parse friendly. This is the moment when we're actually, with help of TypeScript, we're preparing everything to send this satellite, aka smart contract, to the space, aka blockchain. So the init message, we don't want any init message in the beginning. We can just return null. And post deploy tests. We, as you remember, we have a getter method. We will say getter meaning of life. So call get method. Again, it's so simple with TypeScript to just fetch some data from the smart contract. Let's remind us how it was called. Meaning of life. Call get method to meaning of life. Meaning of life. And here we see, let's say, response. Then we need to, let's do send increment. Okay, I would say let's not send anything here. Yeah, I would say let's just send a little bit money, a little bit of money to see how the split works. So for the first test, it would be just sending some money and they would be split into those two addresses. So yeah, we're going to send 0.2 and we're not going to provide anybody. So we'll just send money to the smart contract because our smart contract doesn't care about the commands and everything. So send money to smart contract to be splitted. All right, and then we are going to call another method because we have two of them, the balance. We are going to check the balance. Getter balance. Balance. Oh, let's just call it. Okay, just let's leave it like that. But okay. So now here we basically did everything we wanted to prepare for the deploy script, and all right. I remember I found somewhere that the guys when they deploy they send a little bit of a they send a little bit of money to cover the rent. We saw it here in the logs. All right, we're gonna get back to that later. So we basically, we're not sure is not assignable to parameter address owner counter. Okay, data. So main data. What is main? Main is from contracts. Okay, so there is a TypeScript representation of the contract. All right, we don't want any of the increment, deposit, withdrawal. We don't want that. We only want the data, which is setting the initial data. So we are going to have address 1, address 2, address. And here we're going to go address 1. And then again, we go store address. And here we go with address 2. No need to specify the size. So basically, what's going on? So the main deploy here, it is calling when they need data is called by the deploy script. It is going one layer down and is fetching the data from the main from the TypeScript representation of the smart contract. And what this does, it is starting to build a cell. It's first putting address, then putting another address, and then finishes it, and it returns the cell. So basically, this returned cell is going to be the initial data of our smart contract. Cool. So now we have everything fine here, almost everything, because we don't need that. We removed it, and now everything is fine. But we need to prepare the testnet wallets where we actually are going to receive the splitted payment. So for doing that, we are going back to OpenMask. I really like that project from the developer perspective. And I also know the guy who is doing that, and he's cool. But I want to really advise you, so you should try using it. It's a Chrome extension, so I already installed it and already have this My Wallet where I store this testnet coins. But I want to open 2 more wallets, so I'm creating new wallet. Oh, my password. Don't look, don't look. It's saying there's going to be a secret recovery phrase. All right, guys, I'm going to share that with you. Don't steal my millions of testnet coins. Here's a little life hack. So you're copying that because the next step is going to ask you the words. What I'm doing here. That's a little life hack. So I'm in VS Code. I'm choosing the space between words. Then I'm doing Command D. I'm doing Command D, just holding it. It is choosing every space, and now I'm just clicking enter, and I'm having here the numbered list of these words. So word number 1 is drop. It's going to be much easier than count them. Word 12 and 20. 12, ethics. Drop ethics. Guys, don't do that. Drop ethics and you will have problem. That's something good. So we click confirm. Pam pam. We have a wallet. And here's the thing, from my experience, it's also bouncing the messages, but let's see. Let's see, wallet settings, bounceable, non-bounceable. Okay, back to home. Let's just check again. So let's check again, wallet settings. Okay, it's not bounceable. So let me copy it, and I'm switching back to my wallet. I'm gonna send there. I'm going to send there 0. Let's say 0.005. Why I'm doing that? Because I don't know why, but from my experience, when this wallet that I just created is not active, which it's not now. So now I copy this, I go to scanner. You see, it's inactive. Somehow, when I will send money here with the smart contract, it's going to bounce those money. I don't want that to happen. And that's why I will kind of activate it. I might be wrong. I didn't find the better way to do it, but if you know it, let me know. It would be very nice. So basically, I'm going to send from my wallet. I already did. Wait. Oh, I did not. I did not. I'm going to send 0.05. Let's do 0.1. I hope it's not going to bounce. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? All right. It didn't bounce. We're cool. But it's definitely going to bounce once we send it from smart contract. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch to this account too, because you see it's still not active, because it's basically it was just recorded to the blockchain that to this address we switch this amount, but now once I return them back, it's going to become active. So I'm going to send, wait, my wallet. I'm switching to this one. I'm going to send, of course, 0.1. 0.1 back. I confirm. transaction finished. So we will see the money coming out. And now it's also active. I'm not sure how exactly it works. Yeah, you can see that there is. Anyways, now it's active, and that's basically everything we care about. Oh wait. JKN. No, it's different address. I have to do this address. Okay, that's the address. That's right. I don't know why there is no out transaction. Probably didn't never happen, but you guys should handle. I want to know what happened. It sent some money. No, it didn't send any money because I didn't have 0.1. All right. But I should have. So I'm going to copy the address. And so at least I believe it happened because it tried to do something with blockchain, and we now kind of already activated this wallet. I will ask Todd about that. Not sure. Uh, how wallet activation happens. All right. So, but we need two addresses. That's why we're going to create a wallet, show the phrase, we copy it, we go here, and here we all right, so let's see which words we need. 4, 9, 17. 4, 9, 17. Inhale stairs with. Guys, if you put, let's say, 200 likes under this video, I'm going to write a rap song with the random 5 wallets seed phrases. And this is gonna be fun. But if you wouldn't want to hear that, maybe I should like do it. If I get 200 likes on this video, then I'm not going to do the song. So if you want to stay away from things like that, you should like the video. Okay, just kidding. So this address again, it's not active, so it's going to bounce. It's going to bounce. And we go to settings. We go to settings, count 3, whatever. Is bounceable. Okay, now it's not bounceable. And we need to send here some money. Go to my wallet. I'm going to send here, there's some money. I'm going to send 0.1 again. And not bounced. We're going to see it here now. Yes, it's not bounced, but it's not active as well. So what we're gonna do is we're going to copy the address again, and we're gonna try to activate it. So we're gonna send to this address, we're gonna send 0.5. Let's try to do that. Not enough wallet balance. Why not enough? Okay, but if we refresh, still not active. Wait. 0.4. We do have some money here. We have 0.1 ton. Okay. We're gonna have 0.4. I'm not sure. Not enough wallet balance. That's not good. We switch back. We're gonna send some more. 0.5 more. Okay. Now we're gonna switch here. Yeah, the transaction arrived. 0.6, still not active. So basically now we are going to activate it. Send 0.4. Okay. Transaction finished. Okay. Let's see. Okay, now there's out transaction and now it's active. So now we have two wallets that are active and they're ready to receive money without bouncing. I don't know how bouncing works, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. So I copied the address and I'm heading back to code. This we don't need more. So we are heading to main deploy. So here we put one address and I need another address, this one, to put it here. Alrighty, so basically we are good to go. So we have initial data, we have the smart contract code, and all we need to do is try to run it. I will just remind you that we are not going to dig into the test folder, but anyways, I'm going to push this code of this repository right after this tutorial will be finished, and maybe together with Tal and Shahar, we are going to work on the simplified version of it, so we could adjust the rest of the repository for the simplified version. Maybe someone will have better ideas of the simple smart contract. And yeah, so we should just run the deploy script now, because it's going to get initial data, it's going to deploy initial data and smart contract code as a message. It's going to send it to the smart contract. It's going to be deployed there, and then it's going to send it some money, and it's going to be splitted by 2, and we'll get meaning of life, and we get balance. I'm really, really, really curious how it's going to work. Deploy testnet. You see, based on your init code plus data, your new contract address is this. Deploy transaction sent successfully. Block Explorer link. I'm not sure, like, from what I know, Tonwales doesn't have the testnet explorer. I don't think it's a testnet. But I did testnet though, right? Yeah, deploy testnet. Contract testnet for sure. Maybe I will contribute by inserting a link to the testnet explorer. Guys, it worked. It worked. So we have the address of smart contract. We're going to hit it in the testnet explorer. Voila, it worked. So basically, this money they were trying to be sent before it even deployed, so it bounced. It bounced, I believe. Or maybe not, it probably didn't bounce. Okay, and then we got a 0.2 tons. It was deducted the fee for the rent, and then it split it by 2 and sent this transaction to our 2 addresses. Let's check that here. Yes, we received these transactions here. So it is quite working. Perfect. Yeah. I'm going to now wrap up a little bit with questions like what are we going to talk about with Tal? And it's going to be, of course, let's say the main and the first and the foremost will be the testing. Testing. Maybe testing will be even just a separate video. So he would advise us how to test, because I'm very curious how to test interaction between smart contracts. So let's say here in the tests, they're using the ton contract executor. So basically, on the test case, I have no idea how to reproduce. Let's actually do that a little bit. We are going to maybe internal method, deposit, counter. Yeah, let's copy this one. Let's say splitter, splinter cell. So we are going to remove this counter. We're going to remove deposit. We don't need that code at the moment. And here we're going to go with address 1 because again, our initial data structure is address 1, address 2, and code cell from build output. 1 second. Not sure what is going on here. Should get the meaning of life. Let's go just with the meaning of life. Okay, let's try to do it. npm run test. Counter test. Okay, the test passed. But the test case I would like to write is that I need to check that the amount sent to other two contracts is right. So basically, I would say it's like more how to test interaction. Yeah, this between smart contracts. And then we have, so I want to talk with Tal about testing. Um, more simple contracts. Maybe we'll write a simple contract with him together. So you guys should definitely subscribe to Telegram channel. So once we talk with Tal, you will know the first. And maybe I will just even put some short videos on Telegram channel privately. So like before even the Q&A session with Tal will be launched, you have possibility to go into the Telegram channel and see it. And yeah, this being said, we are quite good. We made a smart contract as I promised. It was very practical time together. I really appreciate it, guys. I so much enjoyed to do it with you. And before we finish, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the how to apply your new skills of FunC. And one of very good places to do that is go to, you can go to Ton Circle SO. The link is in the description. And you can see, by the way, that OpenMask already created their account there. And what is it for? So let's say the guys in OpenMask, they describe their project and they ask for what they're searching for. So basically, you can be a part of the OpenMask team, distributed OpenMask team by contributing to their repositories, and you will get likes from them on this platform. They can feature you on their page, and that's quite a good um, way to interact with other developers. So you will raise up the level of your skill. You will maybe get on some project that you will get very practical tasks, and you will understand how the FunC can be implemented, how the Web3 works with the smart contracts. So this is a good place where you should definitely sign up and try to look around to meet new people. And another thing is that if you have a project, and for example, you have an idea of some pizza delivery app, I don't know, with Ton, so you should put it on this portal, and you will find co-founders. So you can write guys who you're searching for, and maybe you can just ask for feedback. Maybe you don't need any teammates and you already have something working. So you should definitely go and sign up. It's quite easy, and there's not much going on there, but that's the thing. That's why we want to go there, and we want to become one of the first. I don't know, like Christopher Columbus who opened America. So I don't know if that's example too big, but still, you should definitely try yourself. You should go there and sign up, comment on other people's projects. Maybe if you have some ideas, drop them off. So I have some ideas, and I'm going to soon put all my ideas of the projects. I'm going to put them there. So I will, let's say, maintain a public list of ideas that I have about the projects related to Ton. And you guys should definitely sign up there so you could maybe steal them. I'm just kidding, but maybe I will even fund your project if you actually start and do something. But to do that, you should definitely sign up there. And of course, subscribe to Telegram channel. Okay, guys, I wish you a very good time of the day, of the night, whenever you're watching, and looking forward to see you on the Q&A session with Tal. So you definitely will like it, and it's going to be published maybe next week. I hope so. So take care.